Henley, founder and CEO of BusinessOverCoffee.com. I am here with none other than Terri Murphy. Thank you, Terri, for being on the set with me today at BOCI TV. It's such a privilege to announce to our audience here, as well as to you in the global world, that Terri Murphy is one of our executive council at BOCI and one of my mentors. And I look to her as well as many of the authors that you have, all the authors that you have heard from today. But Terri is such a professional in her own right, and she is the president of Terri Murphy Communications. And just to let the audience know a little about Terri, she has co-written a book with Donald Trump. Okay,
Whoa.
so we have some of the best right here in this room with us, as well as she's been interviewed and featured on ABC, NBC, CNBC News, and the list just goes on and on. So Terri, everyone welcome Terri Murphy to the set of BOCI TV.
Thank you very much.
Today our topic is the power of collaboration in business, which I invited you a few months ago to contribute, to actually co-author. We have 9 co-authors, collaborative authors as I like to refer to it, in this book. And I didn't expect you to say yes. The first thing I need to ask you is, what made you say yes?
The magic word is collaboration, which is a synonym for connection. And that's what my life is about, the power of connection.
I love that, the power of connection, the power of collaboration. Maybe that's the next book.
And there you go.
There we go. And so in the book you write, connect, communicate, and collaborate. And the subtitle is Harnessing the Power of Connection Through Communication. Will you break that down for us?
It's imperative that we understand that while we're alive in our bodies, there is communication, whether it's verbal, whether it's physical, whether it is emotional or spiritual.
Mm-hmm.
You have an influence or not on how you present yourselves. And communication is the way we know we're alive.
Right.
And so doing it in a way that is so purposeful, that is so engaging, and I'll use the word seductive in an appropriate way, because when you find confidence, energy, when you find someone who's balanced and authentic, to use a Shelley Bauer word,
Yes.
game on.
Right, absolutely. Authenticity. That's something you actually, as a mentor to me, one day we were talking, and you said, Sherry, I really believe that radio is where BOCI really shows up and shows out, basically. But you said to me, you're such an authentic person, but on radio you don't come across as authentic. And I took that as constructive criticism. So will you tell the audience how you would coach someone to be more authentic when they're in person and when they're on virtual?
Well, I recall that I think Mary Singer was talking about vulnerability. Vulnerability is not a weakness, it's a strength. When you're comfortable with your flaws and the fact that you're not perfect, the other person has permission to be comfortable. And so when we're talking about connection, connection happens in a quiet moment where my spirit feels that I can trust and go on, because especially when we have that highly intuitive sense. So when you talk about authentic connection, it's okay for me to be who I am. And so many of us, especially as professionals and women professionals, we feel like we have to be and do it all. And the fact is that's not fair, nor is it realistic, because we can't. I mean, we know that for a fact. So
Right.
What can we do to be standing in power in the moment that we are, connecting with people not to get, but to give? It's how do you upserve and not outsell. So the power of connection with collaboration for me means that I may have that one beautiful connection for you that I've already got from my intellectual, my relational, my experiential capital that can make your life better. And if I can do that, then the power is exponential. So think about that with somebody like a Bill Gates or a Danny Thomas. That one idea was not the result of one person, but of a collaboration of people who get it, who share the vision. And when you're allowing people to see where you're not good, so as an example, no one will ever ask me to do fractions. I'm just saying. No one will ever ask me to do fractions, or for directions for that matter. You could wind up in New Mexico. So what you do ask me for is, what can I see that you don't? Because I see, personally, I've trained myself, I hone the intuitiveness to see the beauty and the power of another living person or being, anything physical. So what can I do to leverage that with whom I know? And the good news is you've been on the earth for a number of years, and so you have these relationships. Because connection makes the relationship go beyond business and what can I get from you, or would you like to buy my Johnny Whiz Bang product? Instead of, what if I could show you a way? What if I've already been down that road? And this works specifically well with Gen X and Gen Y, because today sales is really leadership. And leadership is really understanding who you are, what you do, and what you do well, and leveraging it, so that other people can be the best them. And when you do that, the whole world gets better, which is your message, which is why I said, okay.
Thank you so much for doing that. And I just heard you say something that really resonated with me, and that is sales is leadership. So rather than having a sales mentality, you have a leadership mentality. Break that down for us.
I think that, unfortunately, if Don Hudson wrote The Sale, and believe it or not, in 1991, I was actually in that book, because sales is not about, I'm going to talk you into buying something or a service and I will take your power. When in fact, real service is the opportunity to connect someone with something that you know about that will help you do something better.
Sure.
So when you talk about service, whatever that is for that other person, you look at improving how they do what they do by your own intellectual experience. And so you're not selling, you're not pushing someone, you're engaging them. So you're upserving, not upselling.
So you're engaging by showing value.
You show the value because, again, if you've got a problem, we used to say, if you have the resource for someone, then they would buy it. Like if you need water and you're in the desert, you don't ask for Evian or Pellegrino, you just want water. But think about this, when somebody doesn't know that they need something, we used to say, well, I can solve your problem. Well, today's consumer wants you to go beyond that. They want you to have a solution and be a resource, a celebrity authority on their vertical, so that they can avoid a pain that they don't even know is coming. So when you really invest in yourself and you talk about that confidence with expertise, I have the expertise in this vertical, and I can help you avoid this problem. Now I am not a salesperson, I am part of your fan club. I am part of your support network. So I'm not selling you, I'm serving you.
I love that. Not selling, but serving. In fact, everyone tweet to @BOCoffee what you're getting right now out of BOCI TV with Terri Murphy. Out there, also do the same thing. We're going to check in with Twitter in just a moment. If our coordinator, Gina Davis, would check in with Twitter, we will be going to that in just a moment. But right now, we're back to the chapter that starts on page 66 in the book, The Power of Collaboration in Business. You can find this on Amazon.com, The Power of Collaboration in Business. And again, connect, communicate, and collaborate. Now, you talk about Google, LinkedIn, Facebook,
YouTube, Twitter,
YouTube.
Pinterest,
Yes, you've got all of these in here, and you have such a wealth of knowledge on here for the reader. Will you break that down for us? What exactly how does that tie into the title of the chapter?
Well, here's the thing. These are tools for connection. How many people remember the first cell phone? You could get cable in New Guinea on that thing. It was so big and heavy, and we had a big case, and it was a new way to communicate, wasn't it?
Right.
And then that fax machine came along. Oh
Yes.
my God, we had to legally,
Amazing.
Deborah Norwood, we'd have 75 writers to say it was okay to look at a fax that disappeared in a few weeks because of the ink. So
Right.
I mean, we've come a long way with connection. These are simply connection tools. Here's the difference. They're not local, they're global, so that people can find you hyper-locally. So let's just say you were looking for a house. I don't really need to know what's for sale in Alaska or in Pakistan. Bottom line is, if somebody wants to find the information, they have to be able to find you. The only way they can find you is if you have a digital footprint. If you have a digital footprint, it has to say who you are and what you do. How does it do that? Well, it's through a convergence strategy. It's through, you like to call it social media intelligence. I like to say you've got to have a strategy. It's sort of like buying a treadmill. putting it in your bedroom and hoping that when you wake up, you're gonna be in shape. You have to use the tools to get to a goal. And so when you look at Google is who, you are who Google says you are. So if you're not on the first page to somebody who's Gen X, Gen Y, millennial, you're invisible.
Absolutely.
And it's not about search engine optimization, it's about influence. So what's your clout score? How much influence are you getting? And influence is the result of engagement. So it's how many conversations do you have going? What are people saying or retweeting about you that is so influential they've chosen you out of the 1 billion people?
You're
on
amazing.
Facebook?
Terri Murphy with Terri Murphy Communications. And we are almost out of time on this segment. We are now going to social media, talking about engagement, the social media intelligence that's happening out there in the world. Gina Davis, would you please let us know any retweets? You can find those on my phone.
I have them here, and there's nothing.
We have had no influence this morning.
Since Mary's stuff, I'm not showing anything. I'll double check your phone, make sure.
Okay,
I'm sure
thank
it's
you.
going to Terri Murphy, the supermodel.
There you go, at Terri Murphy Live. There you go, it's out there. At BO Coffee, continue to retweet. I know we've had some tweets going out here in the room, so there should be something on Twitter. If we can please check the phone, we will be back with you with another author here in just a few moments. Sherry Henley coming to you live with BOCI TV, businessovercoffee.com. Visit there and set up your complimentary profile and check into the professional membership. We would love to have you there across the world. God bless you.